Welcome to the episode 2 of Micro Resets. So, today's topic a few weeks ago, I went to Iron Orchard Mall. And when I entered the mall, there was a long line, and I had no idea why. It was Saturday morning, no need for a long line in Iron Orchard. And that's when I realized that there was a special drop of Labubu happening on that specific day by PopMart. And then once I saw that, I realized that we are truly in the midst of drop culture at this point in time. Everyone is dropping a different type of product. Stanley Cups used to drop their products all the time. Then Hailey Bieber's product called Road also had drops one after the other. And finally, drop has become so mainstream that one of my friends, HR, sent out their trainings as drops. So the training they're also dropping trainings. So drops are truly moving from being a sneakerhead streetwear culture to becoming more mainstream now. So I wanted to speak a little bit about the drop culture today. And before that, have you ever participated in any drop?
I must confess that I think it was about 2 years ago. There was a drop of Sabyasachi with H&M. And I didn't go, but I was like quite excited about it. So I did check on the website, but I think everything was just sold out in the span of minutes. But I didn't queue up for it. No, I haven't done that. But yeah, that got me a little intrigued about H&M and Sabyasachi because I think it was one of the first Indian designers who collaborated with this global giant. So I was curious.
Yeah, so that's the bit about it. You got curious, you got excited, and the third thing, everything got sold out. And that is typically what is happening with drops these days. And it has become a legit product launch strategy in many ways. It started off as a very Japanese Harajuku style statement, etc. That's where it used to have drops originally. Then you had this company called Supreme, which is when you say the word drops, you will always think about Supreme because Supreme made it a ritual. Every Thursday morning, 11 a.m., they have a drop. So people line up outside their stores for that drop. And then
habits of creature. I mean,
yes, they definitely added a ritual angle to drop. And then came Nike. Nike had a sneakers app, which basically took the drop digital. From being a in-person thing, it became more digital with sneakers. And finally now with social media, where it's so easy to create hype. Basically, algorithm likes things which are peaks and not a constant. So these drops provide them the hype that they need. The algorithm sort of hypes it up even more. The second thing which is happening now is there are a lot of resellers. So on eBay, StockX, so the value of this specific product that you get on a drop increases because the demand is such. And third, of course, is gamification. So in these drops, especially with PopMart, they are so popular because you stand in a line, you don't know whether you'll get the product or not. It's a blind box. You don't know what you will get. So there is this bit of gamification community, which is
all a bit of thrill attached to it. Like, a childlike curiosity, what I'm going to get in the box.
Yeah. And gaming specifically, this thrill is something that Gen Z loves and is very used to, which is why you might not have stood in that drop line, but the next generation, which is the Gen Z, is totally in on it. So I think it's a perfect storm. And now is the moment when we will see more and more companies taking this route to product launches.
But what have you seen? So is Supreme the company which kind of started this whole culture, or how was it before? Back in the days, anybody used to do any drops, or it's a Supreme who's like really who took it at the forefront?
Actually, for a long time, it was just Supreme and the sneaker companies that were specializing in drops. The reason why drops are now truly becoming mainstream is because social media loves this kind of content. I mean, you get a few content creators to speak about a new product that is coming up. It's hot, it's rising. And that hype loop that social media creates is making it far more accessible for other brands to go with. For example, Supreme already had a hardcore fan base. So if they decided 11 o'clock will release a product, probably they can do it. But now with social media, a lot more companies who don't have the same hardcore fan base could also
I see that. Like some of the indie fashion labels I follow, so it's like they will start hyping up. They'll announce that 11 IST hours, we'll be launching the new collection, and it kind of creates a curiosity. So I think definitely we are all seeking some sort of cheap thrill here and we
Yeah.
get glued to it. But it's interesting. And because you said, I recollected one more thing. Jonathan Anderson, who was appointed as a creative head of Dior, he did a collab with Uniqlo. And I was very excited that, oh, like a Dior creative head doing something with Uniqlo. It was very nice shirt. So I actually got that. But again, not by queuing up, but just from the store. So how do you see collabs as a drop also increasingly becoming more common because it benefits both the collaborators?
Yes, and it creates the kind of hype that you do not expect. So the more disparate the collab,
Hmm.
more interesting the drop gets. So, for
Yeah.
example, Supreme, which is pretty much the first name that comes to your mind when you think of drops, they did a drop with Louis Vuitton.
Hmm.
And that drop, LVX Supreme, was
Yeah.
so huge that people stood in lines, like long lines from like 3 a.m. in the morning. It was literally like you're buying a Taylor Swift ticket.
Yeah.
So yes, so definitely I think collabs is the fuel that you could add to the fire. And the more unexpected the collab, the better.
Yes. More polarized it is in terms of brand personality, more you're like, how come these guys can be collaborating? Like what they could be producing together because, there are
Yeah.
no synergies.
No, and as I'm sure, as in her childhood, buying clothes, buying stuff used to be a thrill of its own, right? There was an excitement in going buying clothes because we were not
Yeah.
doing it that often.
Yeah.
Now it is so often you can buy without a reason, and which
Yeah.
is why you seek a different kind of excitement out of buying a product. And
Yeah.
this kind of drops make your shopping experience more exciting, and they also add a little bit of a social angle to it. So
Yeah.
scarcity is social, and which is why drops are an experience. So they add a experience layer to shopping.
I think you have hit a nail on this as to why we seek it. It's precisely because shopping has become so mainstream. It is like plain vanilla to just shop. So that's why this kind of drops are like more exciting and it's more appealing. As you rightly said, it also made it added a social angle to it that, let's go all together and make it a shared experience.
Yes, and then as a final thing that I do want to add is when I went down this rabbit hole of drops, I've checked Reddit. There is a separate Reddit for Labubu, which is the second largest Reddit for toys. So this is a drop only for Labubu drops.
Wow.
And people have been speaking about what bots you have to snag your next Labubu. They talk about what are the best practices to snag, get the Labubu, and people share what they got in this new drop, etc. So definitely there is a rage around. I think a part of Labubu's success or PopMart's success has also been that they have found a way to get that excitement going with this Gen
Mm.
Z. So that community is not just in person, it's also online,
Yeah.
especially on Reddit.
Yeah. Brilliant. Love it. Love it. So, speaking about shared experience, so my topic is sort of about internet culture, but it's about music. I will ask you again a question. What's your latest favorite music or song or a beat? And how did you discover it?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, for me, most of my music is usually Hindi and then stuck in the
Mm.
90s. I feel like I'm fossilized. But the latest one that I have been listening on loop is from K-pop Demon Hunters, which is Golden. And I've been listening to it again and again. I feel like it's an earworm. And I have obviously found it via my daughter, who's found it via her friends. So,
Okay. So basically, just to give a little context to it, that what has happened over the years and why it's a reset. Of course, we have seen the whole being millennials. I don't want to reveal my age, but okay, let's say in a broad category, we are millennials. So we have seen that whole era from radio to Walkman to CD, MTV, iPod, streaming. And I think the game changer here was TikTok. So TikTok
hmm,
is something which has really flipped the game of music discovery. So back in the days, it was radio, which made the whole discovery communal. Everybody tuned in at the same time, same station. So music was more collective, live, and shared. And then came the era of Walkman and CDs, and suddenly it became a little bit more personal as well as portable. So you were not just listening, you were also sort of carrying your moods in your pocket. and the discovery shrank from hours on the radio to few minutes on the screen, let's say, when the era of MTV came. And then the iPod came, and it truly became digital when you have thousands of songs which you can shuffle endlessly. So it's literally like you surf music like the internet itself. So these are the broad eras which we have all gone through, but it was TikTok where the discovery was not just about albums or playlists anymore. It became about moments like a hook or a lyric or a beat that syncs with the meme. Music became the shortest storytelling unit of culture, if I can say that. So from radio had us listening for hours to MTV gave us minutes and TikTok gave us seconds. And I'm going to tell you some very mind boggling stats here. Like in 2024, 84% of the songs which entered Billboard Global 200 went viral on TikTok first.
Oh,
So,
wow.
really, like, study found that 75% of the TikTok users discovered new artists there, and they have never heard that music anywhere else. And it's not just about the new music, a lot of nostalgia also comes in fact, a lot of, if you see in Spotify's playlist globally, a lot of old music is also making comeback. And how? Again, courtesy TikTok. And then again, it flows down to Instagram and YouTube, all those old songs. So I was like, wow, so how come one social media, TikTok, really flipped this game of music discovery?
Yeah. And sometimes I listen to songs on TikTok, or at least the 30 seconds or the 10 seconds of the song that I see on TikTok. I don't know who sung it. And when
Yeah.
I finally listened to the full length song on Spotify, I realized, oh my God, I actually heard it first. Sometimes it's so subconsciously driven into us that you have no idea that that happened. I mean, TikTok is now a must have strategy for all
Oh, yes.
musicians. Sometimes you do teasers on TikTok even before you sort of
Yeah.
go on
TikTok
Spotify.
or any kind of short form media. I mean, I think the by and large the trend that I'm been pointing to is that music discovery is really happening in seconds now on the short form content. So it's not happening on YouTube, it's not happening on Spotify, it's not happening on TV anymore. It's all happening on short form video content. It's just amazing that how this is shrinking. And I sometimes think, how will it be for Gen Alpha? Because as we say, the algorithm knows you more than anybody else. So there's not just a shift in consumption, but in control as well. It's like music will find you before you even go for looking, because the algorithm knows you so well, it will find you that this person needs to listen to this kind of music.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of our choices are already algorithmically driven. For example, even on TikTok, whatever videos you're making, if you use the trending songs,
Hmm.
then your video has a better reach. Your TikTok has a
Absolutely.
better reach. So there is already a positive feedback loop that algorithm thinks some kind of music will do well. And
Yeah.
because it promotes that content more, it leads to more and more of that same content being promoted. So there is a positive feedback loop. So with AI, I think things are different. I used Suno the other day and I decided, okay, I'm going to make some music. Here are the lyrics. And off we go. I had a song personalized for a audience of one, which is me. So definitely, I think there will be some angles around artists giving away their style, their voice, etc. And a lot of it will be TikTok first, for sure.
All right, this is it. The reset that you shared about the drop culture. I think drop culture really brings that fun in shopping because it has become so easy to shop. There's nothing exciting about it. So with drop, I think that's what makes it exciting. So, and no wonder that's what makes it tick. If again, as you said, it becomes so mainstream, will it then become very plain vanilla types, or there'll be something else which will come to take over? That is something to be seen, but I love that bit.
Awesome. And for me, Astha, this entire bit about music discovery is extremely interesting. Like I said, my music discovery has stopped a long while ago for some reason. But you're right, most of the new sounds that I may have heard and ultimately recognize as fresh music comes from TikTok.
Hmm.
So it is both wonderful because it does help you explore music even when you were not looking for one explicitly.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Great. Uh,
Yeah. So first, I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. And what I have a request. I want to hear from you. When was the last time you saw something on social media and you got so angry that you couldn't help but comment on that content, or you couldn't help but share it with your friends and say a horrible thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
So
done that.
I want you to think about the time that a content piece got you really mad on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Reddit, wherever, and share that with me. What was that content?
I hope this whole week I don't spend in looking for that angry content, but yeah, I'll definitely share.
I'd love to know, and we're going to share more about it in the next episode.
Okay, thanks for the heads up. This was it. Thank you very much, guys. Stay tuned in to Micro Resets for more such content. See you next week.